People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of 7 on Twitter and YouTube, people elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located PurpleButterfly-Soaps.myshopify.com, my blog PurpleButterfly-People.blogspot.com. And it's come up a few times, so I'm going to go over a particular part of my sewing machine and take you with me. Okay, this is how my sewing machine looks. It's the Brother SQ9285. The SQ stands for Sewing and Quilting. This is a quilting table. As you notice, it's a little bit bigger than the standard sewing machine configuration, but it comes with that configuration too. So I'm going to take this loose and show you what we got. This part is called the free arm, otherwise known as the sleeve arm. It gives you space to sew small items like a sleeve or a hat or something that's small and round. This is extra arms, feet, pressure feet. My walking foot goes in there, all that. And then this let's move that out the way. It's what originally came with the sewing machine. If I'm just sewing, this is the part I would use. When I'm quilting, I use the quilting table. If I'm sewing something small like sleeves, then I use the free arm I just showed you. There we go. So, when someone mentions a sleeve arm, this is what they're talking about. When they say a free arm, this is what they're talking about. When they say a quilting table, this is what they're talking about. It has 3 legs. This one's actually connected, so it doesn't need a fourth leg, but that helps support the machine. And then if they are just making standard projects, they use this. Now this I keep next to the sewing machine, even though I use the table all the time, because this is also where storage for extra stuff goes. See? That's where my extra spool bobbin is, or spool stopper. That's this part right here. That comes loose. And the bobbin stopper, extra needles go in there, all kinds of little knick-knacks. I got a brush to clean the machine with in there. This, I can't remember what that's called. I think it's not a zipper arm. It's some type of presser foot, but it's not part of something I use all the time, so I don't rightly remember off the top of my head. But I just thought I'd share that. And then this, of course, is my walking foot. I had to take it out the machine when I was making Christmas presents because I need to use this foot. The difference between this foot, you know, the shank is attached to the foot. So then when you want to remove, you can take the presser foot off. You know, you put different types of feet on there. When you use the walking foot, you don't use the shank. It has its own shank that comes with it. There we go. So basically, and then this part, it took me a while to figure out what that was too. But what that is a guide. So say for instance you're needing to sew something that's exactly an inch apart or whatever, you move this guide over to where You want it so that way you can mark that stitch every time when you're sewing. It goes only, well, you follow that line. But when I use the walking foot, this part becomes the shank. So you have to actually remove the shank from the machine and then put this part in there. And they don't tell you that when you get the machine. So a lot of people, I mean, there's a dozen videos on how do you install the walking foot, and nobody seems to know. Even the Brother website says you just install it. You know, they don't mention the fact that you have to totally remove the shank that came with the machine. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and show you that, so that way you can see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let me get my little screw. The shank is removed with this little round tool that comes with the machine. This thing. Don't ever lose that if you ever see it. You'll be like, what is this for? And you lift this all the way up. Move that out the way. And now your foot is connected to the shank, because I removed the shank with the foot still attached, just so that way the shank, which is this itty bitty part right there, doesn't get lost. Now you're going to take this, slide it into place on the side here. Line that up where the shank is. Hold on. This little opening is what you're trying to put right here. Let me move that out a little, in fact. It's going to wrap around it. And then you take this handy dandy little tool and screw that back on. Making sure that you still have it in place. This is basically a two-handed job, and since I'm using one hand and a camera, it's making it a little challenging. Yeah. Let's get in this position right here. Hold on a second. Let me just kind of put something here to hold that in place. And then you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let's see. This might work. Nope. Not necessarily. There we go. So now I'm going to put this where I need it and bring my hand around the machine so that way you can still see, and that's when we tighten this back up. And then of course the camera decides to fall over. So give me a second. Ah, heck with it. We'll just do it this way. There. That'll work. You could basically see the gist. So I'm just going to put this in here and tighten it. Let me hold it in place. The screw doesn't necessarily want to cooperate with me. But once it's tight, it's not going anywhere. That's how you install your walking foot. So, yeah. And there are certain stitches that when you're using the walking foot, it won't reverse. You'll just do a lock stitch. Let's see, 3/4 of an inch, 2, 3. That's where I usually like to put it, so that way when I'm doing a quilt or whatever, that gives me basically 1.5 inches. So that way you can make lines. But that's what that is. That's the guide. It goes up, it goes down. You can move it in, you can move it out. You know. So, hope this has been helpful. This has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located PurpleButterfly-soaps.myshopify.com, my blog, PurpleButterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Bye now. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye now.